Welcome to Mangaverse Recaps, your favorite manga recapped weekly.
Meet Sorata, an ordinary high schooler with one extraordinary fact. He has had a fiancé since childhood, and right now, that fiancé is gently turning down every classmate brave enough to ask her out. Her name is Miyuki Inarizaka, the poised daughter of a distinguished Kyoto family, admired by everyone for her beauty, grace, and quiet brilliance. Sorata plays it cool as just a regular guy, praising how hardworking and dependable she is, careful never to reveal how much she actually rattles him. But Miyuki only smiles and teases that he is awfully good at flattery. And honestly, their relationship can't quite be called a good one. This is My Fiancee Is So Mean, a tender, frustrating love story about two people whose words and true hearts almost never line up. It began years ago in a quiet garden, two families introducing a little boy to the girl meant to be his bride, a shy young Miyuki bowing hello. Their grandfathers were old college friends who arranged the match in advance. The kids met just once a year yet kept in touch, until both turned up at the very same Tokyo high school. Reunited, Miyuki admits she still can't shake her Kyoto accent, slowly adjusting to the crowded city while hiding the dialect from classmates and teachers. When she slips into dialect, he actually understands her, having secretly studied it just for her, and the soft, "how sweet," that escapes her catches them both off guard. Then comes the catch. She teases him for his wide-eyed reaction and brushes it off with an apology because the hardest thing about Miyuki is about to surface. What she says and what she feels almost never match. Her words point one way and her heart another. And worse, she isn't cold all the time. As they part, Sorata is left with the question that haunts him. What does she truly feel about him? He genuinely cannot tell. So when Miyuki shyly asks him to show her around Tokyo tomorrow, he barely keeps his composure, then erupts with joy at home. Because that is basically a date. Date day arrives, he braces for temples and towers, but Miyuki waves all of it away. She is bored of sightseeing and has one very specific place in mind. That place turns out to be a maid-cafe, where the prim Kyoto lady throws herself into the Momo heart pose with shocking, blushing enthusiasm. She confesses the pose feels mortifying in front of someone she likes, yet still begs to take a commemorative photo, cheeks burning the entire time. Comparing Kyoto geisha to Tokyo maids, she calls it their first photo together, then instantly takes it back, since the maid sneaked into the frame too. Then she asks if they should take a picture of just the two of them next time, cupping his face, teasing him precisely because she knows it flusters him. The whole date feels new and warm. Watching her, Sorata still can't tell if she likes him, but he is starting to believe she at least doesn't hate him. It would be so much easier to take her words at face value, but he can't. More than anything, he wants to know Miyuki's real feelings. So, where to next? At the gachapon machine, Sorata geeks out over the dismal 1 in 6 odds of the rare capsule, calling it hopeless while Miyuki insists she wants a try. He weighs his last 500 yen coin against the long wait for payday, then caves for her sake, right as a passerby recognizes the striking Inarizaka girl. A pack of guys crowds around Miyuki, asking if she's alone, with no idea that the nervous boy beside her is already her fiancé. Sorata reminds himself what a prize she is. A refined heiress bound for medical school, the kind only the man wearing her ring could deserve. Somehow, that man is him. For ages now, he's simply pretended not to notice her, hiding how he truly feels behind a careful, casual mask. The men won't accept a polite refusal, pushing her to tag along, certain they can wear her down. When one finally grabs her arm, Miyuki's gentle mask drops, and she quietly tells him to stop. In a single motion, she flips him flat onto the pavement. So weak, leaving the would-be flirts frozen in terror. She calmly cranks his arm as he yelps for mercy, her sweet composure never slipping for an instant. The elegant Kyoto lady, it turns out, has 10 years of aikido and kendo. She sends them off with a teasing "do you eat properly?" and admits she was worried. Sorata marvels at how amazing she is, then quietly deflates. She never needed his protection at all. Then she turns to him. "Are you hurt?" He insists he's fine, but the genuine concern in her eyes leaves him utterly tongue-tied. And there, in a hush of glittering light, the words finally escape him. He likes her. As Miyuki freezes in flustered panic, Sorata pushes on, confessing he'll regret it forever if he swallows the words now. He pours it all out. Her kindness, her quiet strength, even the Kyoto accent that slips when she's annoyed. Loving it so much, it makes him feel unworthy. He's no catch, he admits. No money, average grades, dyed hair that didn't help, yet swears that in making her the happiest girl alive, he'll lose to no one. He asks nothing in return, vowing only to give everything to earn her acknowledgement, and one day truly stand at her side. Cheeks blazing, Miyuki lowers her eyes and answers with two soft, devastating words. Thank you. To Sorata's spiraling mind, that gentle thank you can only mean one thing. He's just been turned down in the most ordinary way imaginable. Home alone with a hairdryer, he sulks that of course she'd refuse after such an embarrassing display, yet a stubborn ember of hope refuses to die. Soon after, Miyuki asks where their next date should be and admits she's glad she came to Tokyo, and Sorata desperately chooses to believe she doesn't hate him. From Miyuki's side, she's frantic that he misread her. She only stayed silent because her ring stopped fitting and she dreaded being called chubby. This is a story of two people who genuinely love each other. The trouble is, they constantly talk past one another, and now Sorata frets he won't even be able to face her tomorrow. Chapter 2. The rom-com of a beautiful, baffling Kyoto girl, and the shy boy fate has tied to her. Still stinging from his rejection days ago, Sorata is blindsided when Miyuki calmly invites him to study together tomorrow. He blurts that he thought she hated him. She's baffled, then asks what he imagined her Kyoto word ukini meant. It simply means thank you. She chides him for never once trying to find out himself, and the truth slowly begins to dawn on him. He scolds himself for asking so bluntly, replaying his confession and wondering if her inviting him out means she doesn't truly hate him. He decides they must be two of a kind, both convinced they aren't good enough, and clings to that fragile reading of her tangled words. Then he remembers what she actually said. Confess again once you've become a man worthy of her. So step 1 is clear. Get to know Miyuki better. For their study date, he asks where she'd like to go, and she nervously fidgets at a family restaurant, unsure she's even allowed to press the call bell. It's her very first time somewhere like this. A little embarrassing, she admits, since she's never really had friends to go out with. She's adorably lost among drink bars and order screens. At one point, wondering aloud whether you can actually order a smile here. She lights up at the self-serve drinks, brewing green tea with painstaking care while Sorata quietly melts at how meticulous she is. She proudly hands him a cup she brewed just for him, and he's floored. He's never watched anyone make tea so tenderly. Then she hints she might head home, and his Kyoto decoder spins out. Back there, being served tea is a polite signal for a guest to leave. She offers a second cup, and he spirals further over hidden meanings, finally begging her to please just say what she means without the riddles. Settling in to study, Miyuki slides right up beside him. Certain she's teasing again, Sorata flusteredly blames the cramped booth. She insists she's far too grown up to be embarrassed by closeness. Then notices the English notes for his book report assignment. He's mortified his work looks childish next to hers, until she reveals the book is the source novel of a Western film he once recommended to her. She's gone all in on his tastes, devouring the sequel, the drama adaptation, even a documentary on the author, and cheerfully recommends them right back. Bubbling over, she admits she bought the very same book so they can hold another review session. And for once, all of this feels wonderfully new to them both. On her side, Miyuki confesses she's never had friends, always so praised and admired that everyone kept her at arm's length as the untouchable star. Classmates spoke of her in hushed awe, top of the class, kendo champion, as if she lived in a different world, too dazzling to approach. That, she realizes with a soft blush, is why Sorata has always felt different. He simply treats her like an ordinary person. Sorata recalls glimpsing her room after the engagement. Nearly bare, yet crowded with trophies and awards tossed around like clutter. He senses the loneliness hiding behind all that excellence and perfectionism, and wonders what the flawless Miyuki actually wants for herself. Back at their study date, she's overjoyed. He thinks so well of her, flustered and touched, and shyly offers him yet another cup of tea. All too soon, their time runs out, and they part outside with an awkward, warm little goodbye. Alone, Miyuki spirals. Was she rude? Why did it end so fast? Quietly crushed that the day she never wanted to end is already over. Sorata, meanwhile, exhales in relief that it went smoothly. Certain he saw a new side of her and that the gap between them shrank just a bit today. Still, Miyuki feels far from worthy of standing beside him. And Sorata, just the same, vows to close the distance and become someone who deserves her. Bleary from staying up to watch the sequel, he's stopped at the school gate by a cheerful blonde stranger asking where to find Miyuki's classroom. Chapter 3. He points the way only because she asked, But the pushy, secretive girl won't say what she wants. Just who is this mysterious newcomer? When Miyuki appears and spots Sorata beside a cute girl, her smile freezes. A pretty stranger at his side sets off quiet alarm bells. The girl introduces herself as Hitsujino Mary, gushing in a Kyoto accent so obviously fake that Miyuki clocks it in an instant. Mary adores the dialect and taught herself online. Miyuki politely praises it, thrilling her. Then Mary hints the two of them have actually met before. Horrified, Sorata recognizes her at last. She's the maid from the very cafe where he and Miyuki had their date, snapshot and all. Seeing them so familiar, a visibly jealous Miyuki simmers while Mary breezily explains she's half Canadian, raised on her mother's Japanese roots. Mary rhapsodizes that Miyuki is the perfect traditional Yamato Nadeshiko, a Japan culture superfan who moved over in middle school and fell head over heels for it all. As class is about to begin, Mary seizes Miyuki's hands and begs her idol to teach her how to become a refined Kyoto lady just like her. And just like that, Sorata sighs. A delightfully weird new person has come crashing into their lives. Sorata puzzles over why Miyuki seemed upset, clinging to how close they'd grown, and to her quiet words that he's always felt different from everyone else. He thinks back to the first time she really spoke to him, how she gently noticed he was troubled, the small kindness that quietly won him over. Lost in a daydream about that tenderness, he's jolted back when the teacher calls on him by name, Komai, to read aloud in class. At lunch, Mary coos over Miyuki's homemade bento and begs to be fed, while Sorata watches the two girls and mutters that it's not fair. He sulks that they only just met. Shouldn't he be the one closest to Miyuki? Stewing as Mary happily soaks up all her attention. Then Miyuki turns to him with a bite ready. Does Sorata want to be fed too? He gulps. She's teasing him again. She pops the food into his mouth, and between stunned chews, he blurts that it's genuinely delicious, leaving Mary gaping in shock. Mary marvels that they really are engaged, while a wary Sorata suspects another trap, and she fawns over Miyuki's authentic Kyoto accent. Baffled that plain Soratan is the fiancé, Mary asks why a top student like Miyuki picked this ordinary school instead of aiming far higher. Miyuki's answer lands like a quiet bombshell. On her grandmother's orders, she chose this school specifically to spend more time with her fiancé. Mary just chuckles and wishes him luck, hinting that an engagement might still amount to nothing more than Soratan's one-sided love. As the bell rings, Mary storms off swearing she's done with them, only to come racing back having forgotten something important. Breathless, she blurts the real reason. She wants to be Miyuki's friend, thrusting out her contact and begging for sticker messages. Miyuki looks quietly moved. The girl always admired from a distance is hearing that word, friend, for the very first time. Hugging her phone, she glows with joy. She's never once swapped contacts with a friend before, and the people who avoided her truly missed out. Sorata helps her agonize over which sticker to send back, happy for her, yet feeling the faintest pang of loneliness himself. Chapter 4. Her new friendship is a lovely thing to witness, but as Miyuki and Mary giggle together, Sorata realizes he's being completely left out. The girls chatter over Kyoto sweets like raw yatsuhashi, Miyuki's voice brighter than ever, while Mary insists they drop the formalities. Miyuki finally calls her Mary and offers Miyuki-chan in return, and Mary promptly warns Sorata not to grow complacent about the engagement. Love, she lectures, is like watering flowers. Neglect his fiancé, and someone else might pluck her away, piling it on until Sorata feels he's in pure agony. Mary gushes that Miyuki's braided hair is adorable, matching her own, and the girl who deflects every compliment blushes happily at her new friend's praise. It needles Sorata that when he praises her, she brushes it off as flattery. Yet she beams at Mary. He's sure he can do nothing right in her eyes. One morning, a smooth, popular classmate named Kishi, who sits right in front of Sorata, greets them politely by the lockers. When Kishi casually hands Miyuki some handouts from the teacher, her mood darkens, and Sorata feels a faintly menacing chill roll off her. Something's off about Miyuki today. She insists she's fine, but Sorata can tell she isn't quite herself. Sure enough, she suddenly sways on her feet, and Sorata catches her hand just in time. It's a fever. They get her to the infirmary, where a stricken Mary tearfully apologizes for having worn her out. It's only a mild 37-degree temperature, yet Mary wails as if she's dying, while Miyuki calmly says her aunt will come collect her. The others head off to PE and the staff room, leaving Sorata about to go too, until something makes him stop. Miyuki holds him back, pressing him. How did he know she was sick when absolutely no one else ever does? She marvels that only Sorata ever catches it. Not classmates, not even her own family, and he gently wonders if she hides it so no one will worry. The fever loosens her guard, and she confesses she hates drawing attention and usually buries her true, not-so-sweet feelings. But right now, she simply can't. Sorata softly tells her that hiding it is one way to cope, yet her real, unsweetened self is perfectly fine exactly as it is. And in return, he promises next time he'll notice even sooner and watch over her properly. She smiles at that. And he adds that when things get truly serious, she has to lean on others too. And she quietly agrees. As the next bell rings, he offers a little get-well charm, and a blushing Miyuki shyly lets him. In the hushed infirmary, he leans over her bed to work his small bit of magic. Promising to message her after school, he turns to go, leaving Miyuki flustered among her sheets. His charm was a quick get-well peck, and the mortified Miyuki sputters that he's so rude, her fever somehow climbing higher while Sorata panics over his own improper thoughts. The next day, he checks on a recovered Miyuki, cheerfully asking whether she rested well, but she just buries her burning face, crying that he's utterly shameless, as Mary looks on and deadpans how badly he's got it. Chapter 5. In secret, Miyuki pours her heart into baking something just for Sorata, praying this innocent girl's love finally reaches him. But Sorata is convinced she's avoiding him, worse than any rejection, agonizing through their shared elective that he must have done something wrong. In home eke, the perceptive Kishi notices him moping and coaxes out the truth. The girl he likes won't even look at him. Kishi bluntly suggests she must hate him, then advises Sorata to simply apologize, even with no idea what he did. Meanwhile, Miyuki is the one baking him a peace offering, with Mary cheerfully appointing herself their personal matchmaker. Mary admits she can't force them to reconcile, calling it a classic young couple spat, then proposes a bribe as the way back in. Her advice spirals into absurdity, riffing on historical drama bribes with gold coins hidden under giant mochi, yet somehow she sounds weirdly convincing. Sweets finished, Sorata heads out and spots Miyuki with Mary, the two girls happily bickering over fake Kyoto accents and matcha. He notices her treats use barely any sugar and leaps to a conclusion. She must dislike sweets, never guessing the real reason. Across the room, the wildly popular Kishi waves off a pile of gifted chocolates, explaining he's only organizing materials for the weekend school trip. Kishi reveals he and Miyuki were assigned all the prep, which she finished in a single day, while Sorata clutches sweets he can't bring himself to hand over. Kishi teases that made with feelings has nothing to do with flavor, and the two trade jabs about who still believes in Santa. After school, Miyuki asks to meet at the park by the station. Sorata, still misreading her, frets that he's only just learned she dislikes sweets. Their meeting is unbearably awkward, both stammering for the other to go first, until Sorata begins to apologize for the get-well peck. But Miyuki cuts him off. He's got it all wrong. She's the one who should apologize, having avoided him purely out of private embarrassment. The peck, she confesses, made her genuinely happy. Grateful for how he always worries over her, she offers a thank you gift and reaches for his hand. Then, astonishingly honest, she admits she actually wants to grow closer and touch him more often, leaving a scarlet Sorata sputtering while she just giggles. The sweets mystery finally cracks open. Each had assumed the other disliked them, when in truth, they both adore sweets. Miyuki passionately over-explains her painstaking recipe. Beet sugar, fine matcha, a secret pinch of almond powder, insisting above all that she baked it with her whole heart. Sorata takes a bite and lights up. It's genuinely delicious, and a blushing Miyuki glows at his thanks. Then he offers his own handmade sweets in return, made with feelings too, and there seems to be one more little something tucked inside the box. And feeding him, she declares with a smug little blush, was simply another shape her feelings take. Even the cookie is molded into a lucky gold coin. Sorata still can't fully decode this girl. Chapter 6 opens on a loaded question. Is Miyuki really just a beautiful, cruel princess? A school field trip is about to put that reputation to the test. The class sets off on a field trip up Mount Washio. Roll call, mind the muddy trail. And naturally, every eye drifts to Sorata and Miyuki, the impossibly photogenic couple everyone whispers about. The rumor mill spins fast. Surely the princess's fiancé must be the dazzling Kishi, an actor's son paired with a Kyoto lady, straight out of a movie. Nobody even glances at plain, ordinary Sorata, the actual fiancé. Cue the comic relief. A hyperactive classmate dramatically declares that he is Micha's one true fiancé, earning a flat, huh, and exactly 0 believers. Hey, everyone's allowed to dream. As the teacher herds everyone uphill, the glamorous crowd invites Miyuki to walk with them. She politely declines, while the whole group somehow keeps a perfectly awkward fixed distance from one another. Watching sunlight filter through the trees onto effortlessly beautiful people, Sorata feels painfully ordinary, literally labeled a normal person beside an actor's son and a Kyoto princess. At least, he sighs. The onigiri is good. Someone muses that strangers only ever see the glamorous shell, never the real person. Then asks Miyuki point blank, doesn't all this gossip annoy her? She turns it over. Her answer is quietly devastating. As long as Sorata understands her, that's all that matters. The sheer sweetness makes a nearby classmate physically choke and gag. Way too much. Please stop. And then there's the engagement ring she pointedly never wears in public. A small, telling detail that does not go unnoticed in the moment. Suddenly something clicks for Miyuki. That name, Kishi Takaomi, sounds far too familiar. A child actor from a film 4 years ago had the very same name. And now the resemblance is impossible to unsee. The secret detonates, loud and chaotic. Glamorous Kishi, nicknamed Omi Omi, was a famous child actor and model who quit years ago. He worked under his real name, so one quick search buries you in old results. Teased without mercy, Kishi gets flustered and snippy before softening. Everyone has a past they'd rather not dig up, and he apologizes if he made anyone uncomfortable. The summit is finally within reach. At the top, the class spots a tiny Mount Fuji on the horizon and loses it, instantly staging the obligatory forced perspective shot of someone eating the mountain. Miyuki, meanwhile, quietly wishes she could slip somewhere crowd-free. And there's the reason why. Cheeks flaming, she reminds Sorata of a promise they once made and shyly bravely asks if the two of them could take a photo together. Just the two of them. Selfie logistics ensue. How do you even flip to the front camera? With Mount Fuji framed behind them, she orders him to act natural and quit teasing, leans in close, and snap. The result is a gloriously blurry, shaky disaster. They both crack up. Fine, maybe a mess has its own charm, but they line up a retake, this time with image stabilization actually switched on. He asks her to send him that blurry one too, then sweetly requests permission to lean in just a little closer. She allows it, and the mood softens as he gently asks why she's so set on Tokyo. Why not just attend a Kyoto high school and skip living at her aunt's place? Her father does worry after all. Her answer lands unexpectedly raw. She's never once gotten to do the normal everyday things real couples do. Another shutter click, and Miyuki catches a glimpse of the photo. Her face going soft and pink in a quiet, unguarded little ah. For one frame, they look perfect together, his grin and her bashful smile, until reality bites. Blurry again. So, naturally, they cue right up for yet another try. She agonizes over her own derpy expression in the shots. Why on earth did she make that face? Frantically refusing both a retake and any chance of him actually seeing the evidence. Later, the glamorous Kishi strikes up a chat with overlooked Sorata, asking point-blank why he even likes Inarizaka. A little deflated, the girl he loves keeps avoiding him. Sorata opens up anyway. It was love at first sight, he admits. The day they finally met face-to-face, his heart nearly leapt clean out of his chest. Besides, Miyuki has been impossibly cute since they were little, and it runs deeper than looks. She's unfailingly honest, in the good moments and the ugly ones alike. Even with barely any time together, Sorata simply knows she's a genuinely good person. Then Kishi drops the bomb. Wouldn't it honestly be better, for both their sakes, to just call the whole engagement off? End of chapter, gut punch delivered. Chapter 7 picks that loaded question right back up, for both your sakes, and refuses to let Sorata look away from it. Kishi presses, almost reluctantly. He won't pretend to defend Miyuki, and he doesn't know the story behind their promise. But if only Sorata wears the ring, doesn't that prove the bond is hollow? In the end, he insists they'll only hurt each other. The cynicism has roots. A buried memory of someone coldly telling Kishi that the moment he stopped being an actor or model, they wanted nothing to do with him. Think hard about what I said. Kishi finishes, if you truly care for her. And somehow, before Sorata can even fire back, the words land heavy, pinning him in place despite all the things he loves about her. For the first time, Sorata actually asks himself the why of it, staring at the ring on his finger, as the uneasy group picks its way down the dangerous trail in excruciating, tiptoeing silence. Poor Mary cracks under the tension. Weren't they having fun this morning? Babbling about cursed field trips while the frost between the two boys stubbornly refuses to thaw. Then someone notices Kishi's earring is gone. The group eagerly offers to hunt for it, but he waves them off. Don't bother, really, it's fine. He resigns himself to the loss. These things happen out here, what can you do? Playing it perfectly casual. But one quiet, resolute face in the group isn't ready to let it go. Without a word, Sorata peels off. You all go ahead, doubling back alone to search. The others realize he'd had it until the summit. It's stick-shaped and fairly big, traceable if the path is one way. As worry creeps in over where Sorata vanished to, Miyuki turns Kishi's own philosophy back on him. You lectured everyone about only seeing the surface. So what exactly are you really looking at? Sorata will keep searching until he finds it, she says with quiet certainty. All because of the pained expression Kishi let slip. She read him perfectly, even as he tried to hide it. The search drags on. They double all the way back to the summit, still no Sorata. Everyone's so frazzled that even random tree branches start looking like Omiomi's missing earring. Then, a scream. Sorata's name tears through the air as his legs dangle over a cliff edge. He's gone over. They haul him back up. He's safe, thank goodness. And grinning. He'd spotted the earring snagged on a tree below the ledge. And, well, reaching for it is exactly how he ended up dangling. Kishi is rattled to his core. Why would you go that far? It was genuinely dangerous. While Sorata just beams, simply relieved he found it. I told you not to bother, Kishi chokes out. Kishi admits he overstepped, his cool armor cracking. And for the very first time, Sorata feels like he can truly see the real person, and the genuine feelings hiding underneath Kishi's glossy facade. After the rescue, Kishi turns his own cynicism over in his hands. Sorata risked the cliff just because the earrings seemed to matter, and that quiet "just because" forces Kishi to finally concede that maybe he's the one who got it wrong. Kishi admits he was the presumptuous one, and apologizes. Then, almost shyly, thanks Sorata for the earring, while fretting he shouldn't have done anything so dangerous. The ice between them is officially melting. Miyuki arrives with her arms full, quietly offering them something to clean up, and the whole exhausted group rides the cable car back down in a soft, worn-out hush. The reason the earring mattered so much finally slips out. It was a treasured gift from Kishi's little sister. No wonder he couldn't bear to lose it. And no wonder Sorata refused to let it stay lost. Pressed again on why he fell for Miyuki, Sorata gives the honest answer. Love at first sight because yes, she's beautiful. But then something tugs at his memory. It wasn't always this simple. Kishi's blunt challenge had actually sent him spiraling into real reflection. Why did he like her back then? The Miyuki of those early days, he recalls, showed far fewer emotions than the girl she is now. Nothing he said ever seemed to reach her heart. She'd smile politely while staying utterly unreadable. Honestly, Sorata realizes with a jolt, the old Miyuki was a little bit like Kishi himself. And yet, every so often, she'd let slip a genuinely happy expression. His feelings weren't what they are today, but those rare, real smiles from such a guarded girl made him impossibly happy. Bit by bit, he fell for all of it. Her gestures, her reactions, even the careful way she picks her words. Yes, the very surface Kishi dismissed. And he figures he's still only seen about 80% of her. Then it lands, written all over his blushing face. So this is what it is. This warm, helpless feeling. This is his love, plain and undeniable. Kishi just watches the sky and lets it sink in. Oh, he murmurs. I see. Something in his armor has quietly, permanently shifted. Sorata is quick to clarify he isn't claiming she's flawless. He stays pointedly vague there. Then he reveals sheltered Miyuki didn't even know what social media was in middle school. So he taught her. Turns out she's fiercely, hilariously competitive. The payoff is glorious. The once clueless princess evolved into a full-blown social media warrior, firing back at comments like she's waging war. Sorata gushes a little too loudly, until Miyuki appears and promptly muzzles him. She fusses over him after the cliff scare. You're really not hurt? Your clothes are filthy, and scolds his recklessness with that signature exasperation. Honestly, she huffs. You are such a handful. Then, without warning, the relief overflows and Miyuki throws her arms around him, burying her face against his chest. A completely short-circuited Sorata can only stammer her name. I'm so grateful, she breathes. That you're okay. For one unguarded moment, the cold princess is nothing but pure, trembling relief. She scolds him anyway. You idiot, so reckless. Even while clinging on and watching them, Kishi quietly admits he'd only ever judged the surface. Nearby classmates just sigh. Those two are unfairly perfect together. The friends agree the couple is endless entertainment. Soratan's forever getting an earful, yet Micha clearly doesn't mind one bit, and even as one-sided love, it never gets old. And Kishi, won over at last, feels a strange new spark of his own. But the warmth doesn't go unwatched. A suspicious shadow is closing in on Sorata and Miyuki. Somewhere out in town, a wary boy in glasses and a sharp-eyed blonde girl are spying on the couple's every move. Chapter 8 opens on a Miyuki we haven't quite seen before. Chin propped on her hands, painting her nails, wearing an unusually alluring little smile. And here, we're told, is where it all truly began. In class, a friend casually prods Sorata about his empty weekend. No date? Gently daring him to just ask Miyuki out, even if tomorrow is painfully short notice. Chapter 8, where it all kicks off. A sheepish friend presses a movie ticket on Sorata, plus a ridiculous stack of cafe and dessert coupons, as a thinly veiled excuse to shove him into a real date with Miyuki. Cue the prying. Miyuki's blunt blonde friend demands to know exactly how far the couple has gotten, and a flustered Miyuki's hand accidentally slips into a savage grip, earning Sorata's yelp that his fiancé is an absolute brute. She keeps digging mercilessly. Surely you've at least held hands? Miyuki bristles and insists they have, back when they were little kids. Sorata, of course, wanders up completely oblivious to the interrogation. Cut to an unexpected tag-along. A worried boy in a flimsy disguise has trailed the date, baffled that two people this close have made zero progress, and noting the cafe was Kishi's tip. The smooth operator. The blonde unmasks herself as the couple's number one shipper, having wormed every date detail out of breezy, oversharing Sorata by text, since stubborn Miyuki would never spill. The disguised boy is horrified. This woman is unhinged. Then he spirals. Wait, did Miyuki just lock eyes with me? Frantically plotting his exit and bribing his way out, utterly certain that if she catches him meddling in her date, he is a dead man walking. Inside a couples-only cafe, the teasing about their hand-holding drought continues over an absurdly fancy parfait, while the would-be spies fumble to stay hidden in plain sight. Faced with proving they're a genuine couple to order the special, the two fluster adorably. Should they just announce they're engaged? Too fake. So Miyuki proposes the oldest trick in the book. Simply holding hands. Comedy strikes when a beaming shopkeeper assumes the two spies are the couple. Cue an indignant, "We are not together," even as they grudgingly admire how Sorata and Miyuki's easy closeness clearly comes from a childhood spent side by side. Over her parfait, a pouting Miyuki is quietly content, and Sorata notices something rare. Her nails are painted today, so the fearsome princess has a sweet tooth and a soft, girly side after all. He gushes over the pretty manicure, which Miyuki proudly credits to her friend Mary. She admits this dainty stuff is unfamiliar territory, because she spent her whole life training in martial arts, which explains that crushing grip. She opens up. Socially clumsy and bad at gauging distance with people, she found her very first real friend in Mary, who simply barged through her walls. And, she notes, Sorata clicked with Kishi just as fast. Mary, she explains, is the caring type, armed with brutally blunt insults and a chronic habit of meddling in everyone's business. Honestly, their whole odd dynamic is something almost no one would believe if you described it. And quietly, the takeaway about Sorata crystallizes. He worries over everyone as if it's the most natural thing in the world. Even cynical Kishi can't doubt that sincerity, and it's genuinely disarmingly cool. The chaperones half admit they'd be thrilled to ever grow as close as those two, while disguised Kishi watches the couple with a complicated, frowning fondness he won't say out loud. Miyuki realizes the tickets came from Kishi, who deliberately gave zero hints about the film, since it's more fun going in blind. No spoilers only makes her more impatient to finally see it. Plot twist. The movie is full-blown horror. Sorata's instantly terrified. That doll moved, right? While the lurking shippers gleefully pin their hopes on the suspension bridge effect to scare the couple into romance. In the dark, the unspoken handhold looms large, and Miyuki goes self-conscious, staring at her own hand. Short nails, thick knuckles, bones toughened from years of martial arts. Not cute at all, she frets. Will he be disappointed if they hold hands right here? She agonizes, turning her own lecture about surfaces back on herself. What is she really looking at? The truth is simpler, she just can't find the nerve. She remembers when grabbing his hand was effortless, something her childhood self did without a second thought. So why has it become this impossibly hard? Their fingers hover achingly close. Then the horror hits its peak. Sorata shrieks, "Stay back!" clinging and begging the screen for mercy, while utterly unbothered Miyuki calmly munches popcorn, and in the chaos, their hands finally, quietly find each other. Out in the lobby, Sorata's a traumatized wreck while Miyuki positively glows. Turns out horror is her absolute favorite genre, and her giddy, satisfied grin is so adorable it almost makes the heart attack worth it. She'd even noticed his hand trembling during the scares. He frantically waves it off as nothing. Either way, she beams. Thanks to this whole clumsy day out, her gloomy mood has completely lifted. Then the couple spots them, Mary and Kishi, who've been shadowing this date from the very first step. Sorata, bless him, hadn't noticed a single thing the entire time. Busted. With a smile dark enough to curdle milk, Miyuki corrals the panicking spies. Fine then, let's all run together, shall we? But there's a quieter beat too. A sudden steadying grab, fingers catching fingers over a railing, and two faces flushing pink at exactly the same moment. So the foursome ends up spending the rest of the day together, bickering over snacks, chasing each other around, and little by little the distance between all of them quietly shrinks. That wraps Chapter 8. In the aftermath, Kishi concedes the arranged pair genuinely suit each other, while Miyuki vows to shake off any future tales at full power. And she's quick to correct the record. They're not just partners, they're fiancés who've held hands plenty, thank you. She fumbles adorably over the word. Arranged partners are picked by parents, she explains. But fiancés is clearly something she wants to mean far more. The distinction matters to her more than she'll ever admit. Chapter 9 pulls back the curtain on Miyuki herself, a lone girl with a single tulip and a quiet, petal-strewn melancholy. For as long as she can remember, an invisible wall stood between her and everyone. Classmates, instructors, fellow students alike. Only her family slipped past it, and her grandfather's old house was the one place that ever felt like home. There, she'd lose at board games to her gruff, teasing grandpa, who bluntly informs her she's a sore loser and, frankly, not adorable. The very same verdict her sharp-tongued floral arts teacher liked to deliver, only crueler. That teacher had insisted an award winner ought to smile, that joylessness shows. Grandpa, it turns out, agrees in his own rough, well-meaning way, much to little Miyuki's deadpan exasperation. A pat on the head, an indignant, "You stink, Grandpa," and a glimpse of her roots, a Meiji-era Kyoto fabrics house, young by local standards, built up by a bold first generation through wave after wave of criticism. Then the question that quietly breaks your heart. What makes you happy, Miyuki? The child genuinely doesn't know. She only takes her lessons because her mother told her to. Trophies and all. Happiness, sadness, the things she likes, what even matters to her? She confesses she can't understand any of it, not really. Her grandfather simply listens and softly says he sees. The adults call her mature, level-headed, such a good girl, and ask to borrow her flower arrangement for an exhibition. Grandpa only murmurs a quiet hint. She just hasn't met him yet. But beneath the praise runs a hidden flaw. An older, more gifted girl named Tachibana outshines her, and Miyuki dutifully defers. Use hers instead of mine, she offers, even while fully meaning to do her own best. Then comes the rot. Rival girls secretly sabotage her flower holder, whispering about how fast they can make her quit so she won't take silver. Miyuki overhears every word and just coolly writes them off as a bunch of losers. Quietly chalking it up to her own conduct, she asks her mother to let her switch classrooms. A new instructor too, maybe, insisting nothing bad happened at all. She simply buries it. And still the recognition keeps coming. Amazing again, Inarizaka-san, while she masters the one skill that smooths everything over. She learns, hollowly, how to smile. Thank you kindly. Then, one day, Grandpa floats an idea. There's a boy he'd like her to meet. A kid who gets hurt an awful lot. They'd be arranged partners, and if they hit it off, all the better. Honestly, he says, I think he'll suit you. And just like that, she agreed on the spot. The very first thing Grandpa had ever asked of her. She looked up, promised partner, a future spouse, parent decided. Whatever, she shrugged. That's ages away. Disliking people her whole life, she figured an arranged match was easier than ever choosing for herself. Then came the fateful first meeting, a tiny, trembling boy named Sorata, and her polite little, nice to meet you, whereupon little Sorata, red-faced and bawling, bellowed a vow at the top of his lungs. He would absolutely make her happy. Miyuki met this hurricane of sincerity with a perfectly blank stare. Worst first impression imaginable. Their grand engagement fizzled into a once-a-year ritual, a New Year's gift, a summer or winter visit. punctuated mostly by excruciating silence. And good grief, the boy was loud. He'd barrel and raving about soccer with his friends, while she answered in cool, distant pleasantries. Oh, her lessons had changed. She'd taken up piano now. They simply didn't speak the same language. He'd beg her to play some Cartoon Heroes theme song. The next year, he thrust a tulip at her, and she accepted it purely to honor Grandpa's wish. Then the tulip's secret spills out. He grew it himself for summer homework and lugged it all the way from Tokyo, unable to afford a store gift. And, his mom reveals, he'd cried not knowing what a girl would even like. He did all of that just for her, and still, she felt absolutely nothing. So out came the practiced hollow line. "I'm happy, thank you kindly." She'd beamed her biggest, most carefully rehearsed smile. So why, she wonders, did his face crumple with worry? He'd seen straight through it, and the tulip already was wilting. The following year, he didn't show up at all. "Sorry, Papa," she offered, resigned. "I guess it can't be helped." And her grandfather quietly agreed that it couldn't. "Did you come to like Sorata?" Grandpa gently asks. She honestly doesn't know, but since fulfilling his one request mattered to her, she apologizes for failing. Touched, he just pats her head. "You goofball? You actually care about that?" He never came back, she decides. Surely he'd realized too that they simply don't match. She's no good with anyone after all. Better, she tells herself, not to worry about the engagement at all, but the truth underneath was bleaker than any of it. She felt nothing, she knew nothing about herself. There was only a cold, bottomless despair. Another year passed. Eyeing her overflowing shelf of trophies, she figures it's about time to toss them out, when a sudden clatter on the roof nearly scares her out of her skin. And there he is. After a whole year gone, Sorata has come back, grinning at her window, hand raised, cheerfully inviting her out to the ceremonial bonfire. Chapter 10. "It's been a while," he beams. Komai-saner, she's utterly thrown. Why is he on the roof? On Okaribi night of all nights, after vanishing for an entire year. Then she notices his pocket is soaking wet, and watches, incredulous, as he sheepishly fishes out a flower he'd nearly forgotten he was carrying all this way for her. It's even more pitifully wilted than last time, but she thanks him all the same. He proudly announces he's learned how to transport flowers, and then asks her to wait just a moment. And she teaches him the real way. Wrap the stem in a damp cloth and foil, snip it at an angle, and it'll last far longer next time. "You're like a pro," he gasps. And for once, she's actually sharing her gift with him. Then it slips out, quiet and unguarded. "I thought you weren't coming back." "Why on earth would you think that?" He blinks, and she flushes, mortified to have shown she'd cared at all. He wants to take her to the bonfire if she'd like, though sneaking out at their age would surely get them in trouble. Still, she admits she'd genuinely like to go together. It's just that her lessons mean a 9 p.m. curfew, and it's already dark and dangerous out. Up on the roof, Sorata's all nostalgic. Last time he was up here was for kite flying. The Okaribi lighting starts at 8 sharp. They've got 10 minutes, and he sheepishly explains he arrived late this year. Her brother Ayano nags he'd noticed, so Sorata slipped up onto the roof instead. And Miyuki quietly admits that after such gloomy days, sneaking out with this loud near stranger feels somehow refreshing. They map a safe route crowded along the Kamogawa River. And then, mid-step, a sharp snap cuts the plan short. Her wooden get-a-strap has broken. Deflated, she apologizes for killing the mood. As vexing as it is, she figures they'll just have to turn back. But Sorata simply crouches down, back offered, and grins. "Here, hop on. He'll carry her the rest of the way." She protests. Isn't she heavy? Her kimono? While he insists he's totally got it, knees buckling with every wobbling step. "You," she notes flatly, "are a terrible liar." They snag a prime spot by the bridge just as the streetlights dim. A custom, some say, to set the mood 10 minutes before the lighting. Any second now, the fire will bloom. "Are you glad it's just the two of us?" he asks. And Miyuki turns it over. Why did he come back after skipping a whole year? She's always known her stiff, mechanical way of speaking never quite fits with anyone. She'd always known, deep down, that she doesn't click with people. And no matter how she tries to patch it, nothing changes. So when Sorata says he has something for her, she braces to feel, once again, absolutely nothing. He fishes out something small and round, rolling it into his palm, and a baffled Miyuki can only stare, question marks blooming. It's a ring, clumsy, clearly handmade. He'd wanted to give it last year, he explains, but it was so hard to craft it took him a whole extra year. He heard on the radio a ring would make his fiancée super happy. Why would you, she wonders? The flowers were fine. She'd assumed he skipped last year because he too had given up on them matching. The truth, he spent that year building this, just hoping it might finally make her smile. So he'd noticed her hollow smiles all along. And even now, holding his gift, she feels nothing. She thanks him, then apologizes because she simply doesn't know how to put her heart into words. Joy, sorrow. None of it ever clicked for her. She'd been painfully aware that everyone found her cold and unpleasant, that adults whispered she wasn't even worth teaching, but she never had the faintest idea how to fix herself. Having long since given up on herself, she tries to refuse the ring. She's unqualified to accept it, she says, and from now on she'll just stop hurting him altogether. Sorata's answer is instant. Don't worry about it. And there it is again, that same impossible promise from when they were tiny. I'll absolutely make you happy. He'll keep at it, beaming, until the day she's genuinely glad to receive it. Then the mountain ignites, the great bonfire blazing against the night. So pretty, she breathes, watching the flames, and softly, almost without thinking, she says his name. Back home, the jig is up. Grandpa knows she snuck out with Sorata. Her brother Ayano had quietly tracked her phone by GPS. Worried, and gently she's reminded to just tell the truth next time. No wandering off alone, Grandpa scolds. She sulks an obedient okay. Then he teases that little Miyuki's gone and become a naughty girl before something catches his eye. Miyuki, that ring, she's wearing it on her index finger. She can see it better there, she reasons, charmingly clueless. Grandpa explains a ring belongs on the ring finger as the mark that two people are fiancés. Fiancés, she echoes, turning the word over. He spells out the difference. Promised partners are decided by parents, but fiancés are two people who consent in their own words, and in her case, either fits. Then he lets it land. That ring took a whole year to make. Huh? She breathes. He'd hammered raw metal by hand, he explains, and shaping something small enough for her tiny fingers was the hard part. His sheer, guileless straightforwardness leaves Miyuki quietly stunned. What a strange, admirable boy. Ever blunt, she points out the ring is rusty. Sorata just nods along cheerfully. Well, yeah, it's metal. Completely missing the gravity of the moment. And then it happens. Tears spill down little Miyuki's cheeks, silent and uncomprehending. Everyone freezes. Miyuki, including Miyuki herself. She sobs, baffled by her own tears over a cheap, rusty ring. Her panicking brother swears he'll fix it somehow. She'd never cared about a single thing in her life, so why won't the crying stop? Praise, achievements, trophies. None of it had ever moved her, and she'd come to despise herself for feeling nothing, for being attached to nothing at all. She simply loathed who she was. But this was different. Grandpa's old words finally made sense. She wasn't broken, she just hadn't met him yet. Sorata's stubborn promise to make her happy had cracked something open. Withered flowers never come back, the narration muses. But this was something brand new. Through her tears, with a real trembling smile, she finally manages a genuine thank you. Everything he ever gave her had quietly become a treasure before she even noticed. And so the word she'd circled around for years takes on real weight. Fiancés, not merely promised partners. A promised partner is decided by parents. A fiancé is two people who consent in their own words. Back in the present, the friends pester her about what she's smiling over. And she keeps it fondly. A secret. So ends the long look back. Cut to the harsh present. Quizzes are being handed back, and Sorata is sweating bullets, hiding his paper for dear life, because, oh no, he's scored a catastrophic 24. He's been buried in his part-time job with zero time to study, while Kishi smugly flaunts a 96. You dick. With remedial classes looming and finals around the corner, Sorata is officially doomed. But a soft memory surfaces. That first genuine childhood smile, and something settles. Help, it seems, is on the way for the hopeless student. Chapter 11 opens, and the gang has a plan to rescue Sorata's grades. They form a final study group, and stage it, of all places, at Miyuki's house. Sorata frets it's just an ordinary home, but secretly Miyuki is overjoyed. A house full of friends studying together is something she's always quietly longed for. She slips off to fetch drinks. Grandpa's out till evening, so make yourselves at home. And the instant her back is turned, the others start gleefully rummaging through her room. Mary's official mission, hunting for compromising items. Even prim Kishi gets curious, and a reluctant Sorata is dragged into the snooping. Come on, aren't you the least bit interested? Then they unearth it. An old, age-worn book. Sorata spirals, dreading what secrets it might hold. What if it's some other person's things? As they crack it open, it's a scrapbook, stuffed with childhood photos and newspaper clippings of Sorata and Miyuki as kids. The friends melt at how cute it is, just as Miyuki returns and threatens, mortified, to burn the whole thing. She guards her secret keepsake ferociously, while the others tease and crane to spot little Sorata in the pictures. You leave no openings, you stingy meanie. Eventually, peace restored, they actually buckle down to study. Mid-session, Mary floats an idea. They should all hang out like this over summer break. Never mind that she's juggling clubs and a part-time job. Schedules get compared. Mary can flex her shifts, her clubs only meet bi-weekly, Kishi's only commitment is escorting his little sister shopping. Sorata's free whenever he's off work. Summer plans, it seems, are a go. Talk turns to Miyuki's own summer. She'll be heading back home to Kyoto, missing the group fun entirely. So please, she tells them with a small, wistful smile, have all the fun for my sake. Mid-session, Grandpa comes home early, and Miyuki freezes, caught red-handed hosting a whole house full of friends. A startled Miyuki-chan rings down the hallway, but he's overjoyed, not annoyed. "Oh, you're here. It's been a while, Grandfather," she answers. He's just sorry he nearly missed the chance to meet all her new friends. Sorata politely apologizes for intruding. Grandpa, delighted his granddaughter has finally made real friends, presses candy on everyone? No, he insists. The gratitude is all his. Privately, he asks how things are going with Sorata. They're getting along well, she admits. Yes, he's calmer than the loud little boy from back then, though he's still always saying that same one thing. You two can do exactly as you like, Grandpa tells her warmly. And don't you pay any mind to Sakuhiko's words. Understood, she answers quietly. He's simply happy they came to visit. As Sorata gathers his things to leave, Miyuki reflects that there was a time she too once tried to reach out like this, and couldn't. Goodbyes all around. Come back someday. Sorata promises he'll be nearby for his lessons, and the whole gang spills out the door together, waving. Walking home, Sorata mentions he visits over breaks because he misses his father. Perfect timing, Miyuki says. She's just gone and made a 4-person group chat for them all. Brightening, Sorata suggests they keep it alive through the holiday. Game together, hop on calls. Even on the days a real study group just isn't possible. Even if they can't meet up right away, he beams, they can still hang out anytime. Distance, for once, doesn't sound so lonely. And there it is, the girl who once felt nothing, eyes closed in a soft, radiant, utterly genuine smile. That sounds like fun. He shyly pushes a little further. Maybe, if she wants, just the two of them could be on a call sometimes. Meanie, she teases, fondly exasperated. Honestly, you're hopeless. Elsewhere, Kishi and Mary are still chewing on that scrapbook photo. The mystery figure beside little Micha. Komai and his grandpa, maybe? No. It's that aura, those unmistakable eyes. Then Kishi bumps straight into a stranger, and the pieces click. Wait, could that be Miyuki's brother? My, the man drawls. He's all smooth charm. Claims he assumed a lively sake festival had broken out. Graciously forgives the collision, marveling that of all the wide-open space, Kishi managed to crash right into him. Sauntering off with a breezy bye, he's already texting Miyuki. Coming home for summer break? He'll let their mother know. Then his phone rings. Ah, hello, Miyuki? And he leaves her with the sweetest hook of all. If she's fine with it, she's welcome to bring Sorata along to Kyoto. I look forward to it, Miyuki murmurs. And there the story closes. A bonus strip on everyone's best subjects. Mary loathes everything but English. Kishi loves math, Sorata coasts on raw memorization. And Miyuki, with near-perfect marks across the board, is simply invincible. Another quick gag, Miyuki is scandalized that the Kanto region has no Shinshindo, her beloved Kyoto bakery chain. The French bread, the breakfast plate. If it isn't Shinshindo, she huffs, it's just no good. And one last bit. Comparing summer plans, the couple discovers they share exactly 0 hobbies. She adores Beethoven's Fifth, the Fate Symphony. Nice taste, Sorata teases. What is that supposed to mean? And that's the series, My Fiancee Is So Mean, by Fuyutani Riku. The story of a cold, walled-off princess slowly, helplessly learning how to feel. All because of one impossibly earnest boy. Romance, comedy, school life, slice of life, it's every bit of that and more. If this thawed your heart even a little, drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next part.